Welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're adjusting to these different energies of Pisces season, where we are really being called to rest and retreat, um, and uh, and find new ways of moving forward. Is really how it's been explained to me. Welcome, if you're new here in this part of my world, the world. Welcome. My name is Solara. I'm going to be your host for this journey, or at least for this part of the journey. Welcome if you're returning. I'm so grateful to all of you guys for the love, for your support, for your purchasing of my services, for your donations. Somebody just gifted me 2 beautiful decks. I received them. I can't even begin to tell you how magical my day was, and it was set off by receiving that gift from you. I'm not going to put your name out there because I don't know if you're comfortable with me saying it, but I want to tell you I received those decks. They're speaking to me so deeply. I'm not ready to use them for collective reads quite yet until I get to know them a little bit more intimately, but I want to thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. From the wholeness of my heart, thank you. Thank you to those of you who, leave comments, your words of encouragement for not only myself, but one another. It's such a beautiful thing. I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. I'm here tonight to give you some downloads, as well as probably pull some cards. So to go back to what I was saying at the beginning about this energy that we find ourselves in presently, you may be feeling quite tired right now. That's not an accident. It's a mixture of a whole bunch of things that are going on, and there are reasons behind it. For one thing, we're in the middle of an ascension. For another thing, I haven't checked the solar weather recently, but I'm sure it's kicking off. So that will always, cause energetic disturbances that are designed to help us to activate certain things, but in doing so, that can leave our physical bodies a little bit fatigued. There's that. There's also, the attacks, right? But then there's also the clearing of the debris left over from the attacks, and just from the clearing of our energy fields of a lot of the woundedness. A lot of the solar flares activate this. The attacks even help to activate this energy to keep it moving. So we are in what my guides are referring to like a phase of recovery and renewal. We have to recover from what it is that we've been through in order to rise again. And with the sun in Aries, when the sun moves into Aries, we will be ready to once more be fired up to take action. But right now we're being called into this beautiful Neptunian, Jupiterian, dreamy, Piscean energy that allows us to access the wealth of our abilities and the fullness of our treasure by way of rest and rejuvenation and reset and dreaming. We are currently, how they said it to me, we're currently being calibrated and resensitized. They said resensitized. A lot of us have been desensitized in order to live, to survive in the climate of what was created for us in the matrix system. And now we are being desensitized. And as such, we are going to be dealing with, especially through this Pisces season, there's going to be a lot of focus on heart chakra activations and upper heart activations, so we can once again be vessels that operate and move in unconditional love. You see, some of us, that was our natural state, and when we came onto this planet, whenever we tried to move in that vibration, we were taken advantage of, and we went through a lot of betrayal because of that, because we didn't know anything but to love, because we are love in our divine states. And then some of us descended into states that did not reflect that because of our own hurt and pain and woundedness, and we're ready to rise again. We're ready to come up out of those energies that kept us from being able to properly love in the divine way that we were created to. And this is what the Neptunian energy is about too, because Neptune, again, helps us to tune into that higher octave of love that is timeless, that love that is your birthright, that love that you actually already are. And when you already are that love, when you're able to embody that love, then what you attract towards yourself is a reflection of that too. So up until now, many of us, as loving as we are, we weren't able to move in that and to attract that to us, because it wasn't even possible in the energies of the matrix to actually sustain that vibration. And now it's becoming more possible and more possible with each passing day. And so a lot of the activations coming through this Pisces season are all about that. Not only about love, but love is magical in and of itself. When you are loved, is there anything that you can't do? When you are operating in the love and the support that comes to grow you and nurture you and help you expand in your light, and therefore your confidence and your power and your ability to stand in your truth and to go out into the world and do what you have been divinely assigned to do. Is there anything you can't do? It is love that allows us to do what seems to be the impossible. And this is what this energy is waking up in us again, as this unconditional love returns, our ability to be in it, to live it, to sustain it. As our hearts come into alignment with this truth again, we are attracting the magic, because love is the magic. It's the gateway to everything that's magical, like I said, and true abundance comes by way of this love vibration. And again, it's not a vibration, it's a frequency, it's whatever you want to call it, it's who you are. You know, like in the Bible it says God is love, right? You are, well, some of you would say that you are God, you know, that God is in you, so therefore you are a physical representation of that on the earth plane. And you would be right, we are all pieces of source having a human experience, but we are divine in nature, right? And then others of you might resonate more with this idea of being children of God. It's all the same thing either way. We're all here reaccessing our divinity by way of connecting with what it means to be human, and excelling in learning how to be human and to be humane and not sell ourselves out in order to reach our divinity again. And because you did not lose your humanity in the matrix like many did, right? You are now able to ascend into your divinity. And so those of you who are on this journey right now, who are resonating with my vibe, with my energy, with my messages, this is where we are. We are getting ready to be able to love as God. It's pretty exciting, right? Especially if you're a hopeless romantic like me. So this is why we rest in this new cycle. And we will be guided exactly how to take the actions to effectively close the doors once and for all to the old world. But for now, guys, it's a time for rest, recuperation, and dreaming. And that doesn't mean, you know, I'm not fully living on a cloud. I do come back here on Earth every now and again. No, I'm joking. I live here too, and there are very real things we have to do. But as much as you are able to at this time, rest. And another message coming through, rest without guilt. Rest without guilt. We have been programmed and conditioned to think that if we are resting, we are not being productive, we're not achieving, and that's not what we're dealing. It should have never been that way, but that's not what we're dealing with anymore, or where we're going. It's time to be so in tune with the Divine Mother, who allows for you who is the energy within us all that allows for the rest in between the harvest, gives way to the harvest, which is in the Divine Father energy, which helps us to move forward and to be active, okay, and to pursue. But right now, we're in water energy, and that is we're in a womb-like existence, and we're here to flourish in that and to trust in the protection afforded us as divine beings, and to trust that we are, for as long as we are living in alignment with our truth, we are always divinely protected. Yes, so when you need to rest. And if you need to sleep more and you are able to do that, sleep. Because rest is a portal. It's a portal through which all of your creativity and your abundance and everything else that's been taken from you in the old cycles, your health even, is being returned to you right now. Okay? So the message, I have a few downloads here. Been getting some stuff since last night, and one thing they said to me, my guides said very loudly to me last night as I was getting ready for bed, they said they should have just let you be great. They should have just let you be great. And many of them right now are kicking themselves because they realize they should have just let you be great, because the price for not allowing you to be great before is causing greater destruction for them. You see, many of these people, energies, entities, factions, corporations, orders, covens, whatever your karmic block has been, many of them had a vested interest in blocking you from being great. And now that they see that that is actually not possible, they're lamenting, and they're just like, we should have just let them be great. It probably would have been better for us if we just let them be great. But, the plotting doesn't end. And we are in, it's very interesting because we are in some really immense warfare right now, because it always picks up in aggression, intensity right before the breakthrough. And as such, these past few months, and I think leading right up until the new moon in the sun and entering Aries, and even the new moon in Aries, all the way through to the summer when the North Node finally enters Aries, we will still be dealing with the energies of that many of us have been dealing with, even though this Pisces season is actually coming to energetically close shit down, and it has been closing down. The reason why these attacks are more real to you, and you're aware of them, for one thing, and most of you are only dealing with the residual effects of them, is because they are in a state of closing down. It's almost like my guides are showing me like a shop. How when a shop is closing down and there's this frantic energy that begins around it because it's like everything must go. It's kind of that energy, but transfer it to battle. So right now, the focus, the attack energy, and this is a good thing for you to learn and to know, that anytime you have a beautiful energy, this is what's under attack. So right now, we are being called into the space of dreaming and reconnecting with our love and our truth. So what are they trying to do? Well, they're trying to snatch your dreams. This is why from the weekend, I think on Saturday, right, like 2 days going into Pisces season, my guides started to show me like dream binding. There's a lot of dream binding going on again. It's just like, oh, we're going through this energy. But it didn't really hit me as to why until maybe Monday. They're trying to snatch your dream. They're trying to steal your dream. They're trying to snatch the dream. For many of us, the attacks have been coming in as trying to literally snatch the dream out of your mind. So your thoughts that align with your new reality, your thoughts that align with this Neptunian quality, they're dream snatchers. Many of these karmic people, that's what they should be called. They're dream snatchers and destiny swappers. That's been their specialty. And the whole point of trying to snatch the dream out of your mind is to take you out of alignment with your hope, your faith, your vision, and your creativity, because these are the 4 things right now that are we're being asked divinely to put our energy towards. for us to sow our energy and our attention, pay attention to in our own realities. That's to keep our hope alive, to keep our faith intact, in fact, to grow it at this time even more, to begin to connect with the vision we have for ourselves moving forward, and to be able to connect with the creativity that allows for us to birth that vision. And that vision, again, the creativity that comes to birth that vision must be underpinned by our hope and our faith, right? And our belief in self. So those are the energies, right, that we are dealing with in terms of like the beauty and what wants to come in and to snatch it away, the locust, you know, the roaches and the ants that want to come and, you know, take from your harvest, or, you know, that's what we're dealing with. But my guides have been, and I love Pisces. Thank you to the Piscean energy for this, because Pisces lets us go into retrograde without any planets going retrograde, right? Because Pisces is the most mature sign of the zodiac, and it's the most evolved sign of all of the water signs. No, not the most evolved. It is in its evolved state, right? And I say that not because that makes people who are Pisceans the most evolved in the zodiac. That's not what I'm saying at all. But it's the Piscean energy that allows for all of us to reach heightened states of evolution and ascension. And so therefore many people who are Pisceans, who are walking in alignment with their truth, they are highly evolved beings, extremely psychic and emotionally in tune. And I say that they are the more mature, the more evolved of the water signs, because the other water energies, I shouldn't say signs, because then people take it personally. I have nothing against any sign. I love the signs because I am all the signs, and so are you. And everything that we need to come into the fullness of our beauty, every single sign assists us in doing so. So the Cancerian water is there. It's an initiating energy for our, like, in terms of our emotions. It's more of an immature energy that's very much needed, because it lends to, you know, our childlike wonder and our innocence and the impulsivity we need to take chances. That's the beauty of all of the cardinal signs. But with Cancer energy, it's to do with the realm of emotions and spirit. And then Scorpio energy is that beautiful energy that allows us to dive deep into our emotions, dive real deep. But then the Piscean energy is what allows us to come back into the light in its evolved state. Yes? So because of this Pisces energy, the downloads I have are very much rooted kind of how we got here. My guides have been showing me a lot more about how we got here. They keep on showing me 7 years. How so many of us have been in these 7-year cycles. So I want you guys to think about where you were, you can say this time of the year, like February, March, as let's say as the astrological calendar was changing. Where were you? We are in 2023 now. 7 years from that would have been, what, 2016? What was going on for you around that time? It's a key to what. It's a key to the door that unlocked the 7-year cycle you're in now. And then if you want to go even further, you can go back to 2009, this time of the year in 2009, like February, March, when the astrological year was about to change. What was going on for you then? Because those themes, there was something big, especially in Pisces season, that opened the door to what the theme for your life became for the next 7 years. And you can keep on going back. And I say that not because now the doors are opening, you're doomed to anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that because many of you were contracted in 7-year contract cycles, karmic cycles that are now coming to a close, and you're walking into being a free agent. But my guides are asking us to go down memory lane, because this is how everything is coming together to give us more understanding, so that moving forward, especially through Pisces season, we can look out for the traps that once upon a time got us in previous years. If it was a 7-year cycle, for some of you it was a 9-year cycle. For some it's been a 3-year. The main ones tend to be 3-year cycles, 7-year, and 9-year, and then you can go all the way like into like 25-year and all of those other contracts. But right now, I feel like many of you, the ones you're undoing, are like the 3-year, 7-year, 9-year. That were actually addendums to contracts from many incarnations, if that makes sense. So they were showing me that where is it? Where did I write it? There is a family or group of destiny snatchers, dream snatchers, destiny thieves, whatever you want to call it, destiny swappers, that is being dismantled. So there's a family or a group of destiny swappers, dream snatchers that are being dismantled right now. And there's something very prominent in this energy. The reason why it's coming up is because this family or group, a lot of the stuff that you've been through in these 3-year, 7-year, 9-year cycles is to do with them. And it's almost like we're kind of being shown how that's been happening, because we have a grand culmination of energies that are occurring right now. Because for some of you, you're dealing with like Virgo and Pisces energy. And I say that because my guides were showing me today this Piscean energy that is the last, well, it's the 12th house, but it's also the last sign of the zodiac wheel before we start again. Hence the reason why it's the 12th house, right? It is a sign that is all about closures and endings. But Pisces' sister sign is Virgo. So whenever we have this moving towards the end of the zodiac year, we're always going to be the main energies, I should say it this way, the main solar and lunar energies we are dealing with are Pisces and Virgo before we enter into Aries and Libra territory. So as such, whenever the sun is in Pisces, there is a kind of an underpinning energy of the Virgo energy. And it goes for all signs. Like if the sun is in Leo, the underpinning energy is Aquarius. It's that north node, south node kind of playing out on a monthly basis, if that makes sense. Okay? And so as such, it's like there's been working with these two energies. And what my guides were showing me is that because the Virgo energy rules over our health, over the 6th house, which is very much to do with routines, but also to do with our health and our stability and our ability to sustain ourselves in order to be balanced enough for our daily routines. This has been what has been under attack. And so it's almost like with each moon, we're moving through the house of that moon along with the sun in the sister sign. So for example, when the sun was in Aquarius, we began to move, when the full moon moved into Leo, we began to move through the 5th house to some extent. And when I say we began to move through the 5th house, we're moving through like the lunar energies of the 5th house, like the hidden energies of the 5th house, while the sun is in Aquarius is moving through the solar areas of the 11th house, or of the Aquarian energy. Okay, so right now the sun is in Pisces, but we're moving through some of the lunar energies of Virgo, and as such, we're dealing with endings, for better or for worse, which is the Piscean energy. It's illuminating this, but it's like the Virgo energy is dealing more with the shadow aspects that have kept us not being able to end certain things. So it's like this. They described it to me as a death duo. It was all about sickness and endings, and this is what the culmination of this energy has been. There have been so many attacks in the past, in the lead up to this new moon in Pisces. I want to say around the midpoint, like from like a week out of the full moon in Leo and a week out from the new moon in Pisces, like that midpoint, there began to be some serious attacks. And maybe what it was that full moon in Leo energy was finally, it was finally coming up. Like it had already been past and dealt with, and so now it was actually manifesting. Maybe that's what it was. But I do know that around that time, the attacks, the death energies being thrown and the attacks against health began to increase. And my guides were showing me it's because we're moving into the 6th house energies of Virgo, and we're moving into a time where many of you who have had these attacks against your health and these death energies constantly being thrown at you. And remember, death energies don't only have to do with physical death. They have to do with just putting an ending to the things that bring you joy, putting an ending to your dreams. Remember, we're dealing here with dream snatchers and destiny swappers. So the death energy is there ultimately to snatch your dreams and to swap your destiny with those who are actually dead in spirit but want to cloak themselves in your light. And that's what this whole matrix system was run off of. So, but the thing about it is that if you are a divine being and you are walking in your truth because you are connected to spirit and you're following spirit, when people throw you death energy, what happens is, again, even if you deal with the residual effects, it actually is a tool for your rebirth and your transformation. And that's actually what we're going through. And this is what the Pisces energy is allowing for right now, for us to go through the waters that allow us to be birthed again into the new cycle. And the Scorpio energy, again, it's that energy of the rebirth and the transformation because it allows us to go deep. But I would argue that the Scorpionic energies aren't actualized until we reach the energy of Pisces. It's made possible because of Scorpio, but it's actualized by way of the Piscean water energies. This is why, all of the signs of the zodiac, they work together to help us. That's why we can't hate any of them without hating a part of ourselves, because we are the signs. We're all of them. So the reason why my guides were also wanting me to bring up the 7-year cycle thing again is because some of these people, energies, factions, groups, corporations, covens, again, whatever your situation is, they binded you to an entity whose one of its names is Abaddon. Okay, and this entity is an entity of grand destruction. And I want you to remember that every single entity under the sun and even below has its purpose divinely. Destruction has its purpose divinely, right? But no one is supposed to be bound to this energy. For many of you, the 2012 7-year contract that you were placed in bound you to this energy, Abaddon, okay, which was one of the major entities that upheld their matrix system. And as such, the physical attacks may have actually only just begun for you, even though you were under spiritual attack probably your whole life. For many of you, the physical attacks either began or picked up greatly around 2012. And so you've been in this 7-year cycle where you've been bound to this energy of destruction that was meant to put you in states of constant death cycles without rebirth, but you kept on coming back to life because you're divine and you're connected to spirit and you alchemize the shit out of those energies, right? So you kept on coming back to life, right, with the death energy. It was supposed to, it kept you in cycles of death, disease, poverty, destruction, dysfunction, discord, tried to put you into self-destruction, tried to get you to take yourself out. This is what these energies manifest as when you are bound to this entity. And for many of you, they put you in contract with this entity, whether they did it consciously and they're just like, I'm going to sign you to Abaddon. I'm going to marry you. For some of you, they married you to this entity. I'm going to marry you to this entity, and your marriage fell apart or your relationship fell apart. Or you haven't had a love relationship since then. Take it as it resonates. It doesn't have to be 7 years. They could have tried to marry you again to Abaddon 3 years ago too. I don't know how many times they got to go through their rituals to accomplish things. I do know 22 on my clock. I do know that the more we woke up and were ascending, the more they have to, it seems they have to repeat their stuff, or they think they have to repeat their stuff because shit just ain't working the way it used to. Just ain't the way it used to be. The olden days when you could bind a person and leave them for about 12, 15 years with these rapidly changing energies, it wasn't the same anymore. So, yes. There is someone here. Oh, this is another thing. My guides are saying to me, in the Virgo and the Pisces moons, if this energy is resonating with you, there are people, whoever was, in charge of the fuckery, the Virgo and the Pisces moons, every month were of significance in these 3-year, 7-year, 9-year cycles. They were of significance, okay? Whether the moon was waxing, waning, it doesn't matter. Full, new, it doesn't matter. Every single month, they utilize the powers behind these moons because they're connected. The Virgo energy in its shadow, well, not even in its shadow, because the Virgo energy is connected to your health. This is why. Virgo energy, not for nothing also, and they showed me this today. They've been showing this to me, and it clicked today, and it was just like, whoosh, mind blown, right? The Virgo energy, because for me, I've always been very intrigued by this, how this Cancerian, Leo, and Virgo energy, this window works. Because it's an energy that I'm very, very familiar with, right? And it's also the Sirius window. It's surrounding the 8-8 portal. So I'm very curious because you get the Divine Mother energy from the Cancer, but you also get the Divine Mother energy from the Virgo. And then you have the child of the Leo. The Leo is a golden child stuck in the middle of 2 Divine Mother energies. So what is it that they're doing? Like, what motherly role is each one playing? And then we have Scorpio energy, which is also Divine Mother energy because it's connected to the womb. But my guide showed me today that it's like the Virgo energy acts as a guardian. The Virgo energy acts as a protector of the Leo energy, a protector of the child, a feminine protector. You could almost say like you have, it's like the maid, how's it go? The maiden and the crone energies, Cancer, Virgo, and Scorpio. And in fact, a good friend of mine, she pointed this out to me a few months ago, and I never thought about it. She said, the Virgo and the Scorpio energies are very interlinked. That's why they have the same glyph, except Virgo has just a little addendum. And it's true. And now I'm beginning to make the connection. It's like the Divine Mother aspects are in these 3 signs. In the Maiden, Cancer, the Maiden, the Mother, which is the Virgo energy, and then the Crone, which is the Scorpio energy that allows us to get the wisdom of the womb, the wisdom of the dark, right? And the culmination and the actualization seems to somehow be linked to the Piscean energy, which of course is sisters with Virgo, so it kind of makes sense. But they were using, so the Virgo energy, the big, I can't even find the words, is that the Virgo energy is the guardian. So when you think about how the signs are connected to your body, the Virgo energy rules over your digestive health, right? And your solar plexus is spiritually, but also physically, because we still call it in our body, like if somebody punches you and you're a boxer, they say you got punched in the solar plexus. And if you get punched hard enough in the right way in the solar plexus, it can cause instant death. Okay, and I was out and about on Saturday. I love how Spirit just drops messages everywhere we go, right? And this person, I was conversing with a person about herbs and medicine, and this beautiful guy, he says to me, he says, yeah, because all death begins in the gut. And it's true. Like physically speaking, most death begins in the gut. And I said, yeah, it's the same thing energetically. If you want to put someone's lights out, as I've discussed in other videos, energetically you go in and turn the light out of their solar plexus. You mess around energetically in order to get them to stay in lower states, because eventually that energy is going to cause all manner of imbalance, disease, poor choices, all manner of things. That's why they got us through childhood wounds. It's a direct assault against the solar plexus. If you can disable someone's solar plexus, you can bring in death and disease very easily, right? And Virgo energy, because it's to do with the digestive system also, because it's to do with that part of the body too, it actually acts kind of almost like a guardian. And it's like, for many of us with this full moon in Virgo, we are regaining the guardianship over our solar plexus energy, over our sun energy, over our golden child energy. So the full moon in Leo allowed for it to begin to come back to us, for it to be restored. And indeed, like I keep on telling you guys, all of these attacks are actually also activations. So even though a lot of death energy and destruction energy was targeted towards our solar plexus and all the energies that that make that up. Even though there were attacks, death energy, and all that stuff being thrown at it, what it ultimately did for a lot of us was, because we're alchemizing at such a rapid rate, we have so much protection, and so many of our guides are like, no, fuck no. And then we've got the solar flares coming in that are literally activating our energy fields and our DNA. What actually occurred was that a lot of the attachments they had on our solar plexus, or their attempts to reattach to our solar plexus, it was like they were thrown off. So for some of you, you may have really been purging from that area, and part of it was they were either trying to reattach or attachments were dropping. But either way, the attachments that they had connected to your solar plexus could no longer be there, and this is what we're still purging. And you might be going through stuff with your health also. So it's a dual effect. It's the purging, like I said at the beginning, and it's the attack, but the attacks are helping the purge, if that makes sense. Because we're getting ready for this full moon in Virgo energy, where the guardians, and Virgo, not for nothing, is mercurial energy. It is the caduceus. The two signs that are underneath Mercury are Gemini and Virgo. And the Virgo energy is, the Gemini energy is like almost the birth of that protection, because the third house, or Gemini energy, is also in charge of our ability to take our value, which is the Taurus energy, and our value is energetically in our solar plexus. It's built through the solar plexus. But the Gemini, or the third house energy, allows us to take that value and to be either validated in it by our peers as children and our authority figures, or to be invalidated. And that kind of begins to set up how we utilize the power of our solar plexus. But I say all of that because ultimately the Virgo energy, the second sign of Mercury in the zodiac wheel, is there to seal closed your solar plexus with the guardians that come by way of the mercurial energy of the caduceus, if that makes sense. This is why everywhere this is why even in their medical symbols, you will often see either the caduceus, or you'll see one wand and one snake. It's all interconnected. The Virgo energy is actually a guardian of your treasure, if that makes sense. And the caduceus is partly the symbology of that. And if you understand and overstand mercurial energy, the mercurial energy is how you connect with spirit. It's not just how you communicate out here. You cannot communicate efficiently on the earth plane until you have your vertical connection. Yes? So they were utilizing to go back to what we were talking about before, they were utilizing the Virgo and the Pisces moons of every single cycle, every single lunar cycle, which is every 28 days, so every month when the moon was in Virgo or Pisces, to send you people with attachments. So for many of you, this may have stopped a while ago, or it may not, because my guides were showing me that it wasn't only sending people physically to you, but even around that time you may have started dreaming about people. And it was an attempt to either attach or to reactivate an attachment that had come through that person that had been sent to you originally. So for example, if you had a friend years ago and you moved away from that friend because you sensed fuckery, or it went down the drain, or that person betrayed you, and all of a sudden you dreamt about them and you hadn't thought about them in a while. Whenever you dream about a person, you think about a person, that person is in your energy. Whether it's because you're calling them into your energy, or whether it's because they're poking themselves into your energy, or whether it's because you're connected energetically because they're thinking about you, it's because that person is somehow in your energy. So if you're dreaming about a person, it's because oftentimes, unless there's cloaking going on and someone showing up in your dreams pretending to be someone, when you're dreaming about a person, it's because some way, shape, or form they're in your energy field. Okay, whether you invited them there or whether they are pushing their way in. So around those moon cycles, you may have been dreaming about certain individuals, and these would have been the individuals, the ops, the watchers who had been sent to you previously to cause you some kind of issue, and they were coming back in dream state to reactivate the work that had already been done through them. So, what is it that they ultimately wanted from you? They wanted your vines. They wanted your vines. You know how, like, the first miracle that Jesus performs was at the wedding of Cana, and he wasn't even fully ready for his. He said he wasn't even fully ready to come out into the world as to who he was, but his mother pushed him to do it. But either way, the first miracle was the turning of the water into wine, the wedding at Cana, and that is alchemy at its finest, right? Turning water into wine. Many of you have been turning water into wine, energetically speaking, for others. They've been giving you water, using your energy field to turn that into wine for themselves, and drinking themselves silly and laughing at you and saying, haha, look at the poor people who can only afford water. So they wanted your vines. In the Bible, it also talks about how when you are a Christed being, that's my own terminology, that's not biblical, but I'm not going to go into that, but I'm not a Christian and I'm not aligned to religion, and I love the Bible, but I think it's been tampered with. So I'm going to put that disclaimer out there, but there's so many nuggets of wisdom for how to ascend in the Bible, for as long as you can keep an open mind and an open heart and you can connect with Spirit to show you. And so because I know it so well because of my background, I do talk about it a lot, okay? But there is a verse in Scripture that says, when Jesus is talking, he says, I am the vine and you are the branches, and whoever believes in me will either have everlasting life. So in other words, we have to be connected. We are vines and we are branches, but we are of one vine, that comes from the divine. Oh my gosh, I just got it. The divine. Divine. We're all part of that. And when you are divine, you are part of a vine, right? That is part of the main vine, right? So the whole point was to keep you isolated off that vine so that they could then use you for your divine powers. And you are alchemists. You are able to turn their water into wine. Without you, they're stuck with water, and you can have the best of both worlds. Today I want water. Tomorrow I want wine. Next day I'll have a mix of the both. But you have that luxury of choice because of who you are. So they were after your vines, and they were after your golden alchemy gifts, your ability to take something and turn it into something else. So the alchemists were originally, they were trying to turn lead into gold, but alchemy is any time you're really able to take something that is considered to be of poor value or even a nuisance, and turn it into something sparkly and glittery. That's why you could take their death energy. This is why what they were stupid about, right? Because they wanted you to turn their water into wine, but they didn't realize that eventually there'd come a time when you would turn their death energies into what would transform and empower you, that you would turn everything that they used against you, and you would not only take it back, but you would use it to raise yourself up from the grave and the pit they tried to stick you in and step on you and make sure you stayed in, right? This energy also right now, what they've been trying to take from you also, and what this energy is facilitating, is they've been after your gifts of Jupiter. So you guys should check to see where your Jupiter is. Jupiter is a co-ruler over Pisces, but it also rules Sagittarius, which is, of course, well, not of course, I'll say it here again because I don't say it enough, but the Sagittarius energy is actually the 144 energy. The Sagittarius energy is the one that takes the truth from the Scorpio energy and allows us to apply it and truly connect then with our divinity. That's what Sagittarius energy, so it carries the frequency of the 144 because it's what allows us to plug into the frequency of truth and then walk in it. Yes? So the Sagittarian energy Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter and Pisces is ruled by Jupiter. So what they've ultimately been trying to do is to steal and snatch your ability to plug into the frequency of truth, right? They've been trying to steal your gifts of Jupiter, because the truth is what unlocks your divine abundance. And then they've been trying to steal, with the Piscean energy, your dreams, your ability to break through the illusion, because the Neptunian energy, all energies work on scales, right? So the Neptunian energy at its basest, it keeps you trapped in the illusions of the 3D. That will often cause people to seek out things and become addicted, on the one hand. On the other hand, the Neptunian energy can cause us to become so lost in the ethers that we're not grounded enough. And in that case, we're also stuck in illusion. The 0 point, or the balanced Neptunian energy, allows for us to be connected to the earth and the dream in order to pull the dream into the earth, so we don't have to run away and avoid by living in dream world, and then we don't have to run away and become addicted to the things of the earth in order to get forward, if that makes sense. Okay, so this Neptunian energy is very much connected to your ability to take your truth and to actualize it by being connected to your dreams and believing in your dreams. So this energy was here to snatch your truth and snatch your dreams, because both of them are needed in order to move into the new cycle of the Aries, where you begin to take action based upon the realignment of your truth and your ability, therefore, to walk in the full value of who you are. That's the Aries energy, and to be a leader over yourself as opposed to be sovereign is really what it is. So what they told me, this is the final download, I think. Oh, so yeah, they wanted your gifts of Jupiter. So check out where Jupiter is in your chart, and check out where you have Sagittarius and Pisces placements. And also check out your 9th house and your 12th house, and what houses in your chart are ruled by Pisces and Sagittarius, for more messages if you're into astrology. Okay, so what they were telling me about this, like, because this is like the grand culmination where, like I said to you at the beginning, whenever something's really coming to an end, everything's going to be thrown, everything, including the kitchen sink, in order to kind of get something to budge again. That's the nature of these energetic wars. And so what they were showing me is that they recently, these people, factions, energies, entities, corporations, covens, orders, etc., recently put together all the attachments they sent via others to try and contact you. So remember I said to you that I'm going to piggyback back a little bit because I should have said this back then, right? Remember I said to you that on the Virgo and Pisces moons, they were trying to connect with you with people who had been ops. Or they were sending new ops in at the time. But either way, they were trying to connect with you through ops because they're trying to attach in some way, shape, or form. But as of late, because so many of you are in hermit mode, the way they've been trying to do it is through dream time. So they're not sending you people anymore. Or even if they are sending you people, they have to do it through dream state, if that makes sense. So dreaming about certain people at these moon phases. And it would be more potent around the full and the new moon phases, these dreams, because these are the ones who they originally sent attachments to you that you probably have cleansed and cleared through all of your healing, right? And they're sending, it was like they were trying to send them all at one time. So if you had a whole bunch of dreams recently around the new moon in Pisces, around a whole bunch of characters that you haven't thought about, or even if you do think about them, they're not a focal part of your life that you should be dreaming about them. That was part of it also, right? For some of you, that's what part of it was also, because they were trying to find like a port of contact, a means back in. So for some of you, it could have been physically also. You could have just had these random run-ins and chance encounters with people who you know now are your ops, or you haven't seen them in a while, or they randomly texted you or emailed you, some way to get in your energy field. The last resort is the dreams, but realize that they are everywhere, and ultimately they're there to snatch your dreams. So the point of sending these energies towards you physically or via text or email or run-in or in your dream state is to put a blow in the solar plexus. That's the point of it. The point is to dash your confidence, dash your hope, take you back to where you were, the timeline you were in with that person, to kind of begin to seal in a state of imposter syndrome while they also throw at you death and sickness energies, if that makes sense. So everything's about causing absolute mayhem in your home, in your mind, in your emotions, in your body. But I will say this to you, and then I'm done with these downloads. I'll say this to you: whenever the energy starts to manifest in your physical reality, whether it's in your body or it's in your home, that is actually a really good indication that it's on its way out, because that is how energy manifests. And a spell is nothing but an energetic manifestation. Everything is. So everything that they try to do in the spirit must come through the mental planes, your thoughts, the emotional plane, your feelings. The emotional plane are where they pick up momentum. Emotions are energy in motion. The emotional plane is where they pick up momentum and begin to become magnified enough to become reality, to become more dense energy, which is what the 3D is, which is what the physical plane is. It's the most dense, but it can only pick up density as it picks up momentum and motion. And that is, your emotions are the propeller of that energy. Okay? So by the time a manifestation reaches physical reality, it's enacting what it was meant to do, or it's on its way out, depending on how you react to it. So if they come to you with their shit and you get into fear and you start doubting yourself and all that other stuff, you are actually giving more energy to the spell to continue to be a factor in your life. If it comes into your fields and you're just like, you again? Like you make fun of it, or you, most importantly, recognize and realize that it's a divine gift, and you're just like, oh, okay, well, what is it? I realize this was sent to me by my enemy, but I also know that nothing comes into my fields without also being signed off by the divine. So if it's coming to me, it is a gift. It is a gift of some kind. It may be wrapped in this nasty ass wrapping, but let me open the wrapping and find out what the divine is actually doing here. You get what I'm saying? So if you are receiving, there's spells in that energy, then what is actually happening is it's clearing. So this is the beauty of them like getting like a toddler throwing a tantrum. They're going to tire themselves out eventually, or they're going to be taken out, because that's just the way it is right now. But yes, okay. Whew. A lot of downloads, but I feel better. Okay. Shall we go into... I don't know why the energy oracle is speaking to me tonight. It's already 55 minutes in, but I know you guys love these long sessions we have together. So I'm going to go into the cards just a little bit. They said to me to spread the cards out like this. This is sometimes how my guides work. And to pick the cards I'm being drawn to. I'm just going to take out 3. At the bottom of the deck we have number 5, attachment. Attachment. This, of course, this number 5 energy is attached to the Hierophant. So whatever attachment it is, it's there for you to graduate from and to get a higher lesson, right? Okay, we got the overarching energy here. We got Archangel Michael. He ain't taking no shit. So Archangel Michael actually comes to cut all that shit. Okay, so this is just confirmation of some of the stuff I've already been saying. There's somebody here, there's a thinking man here, because this is in the challenge position. Somebody trying to figure out a way to reattach to you, reattach to your energy field. The best way to navigate this energy is 44, woman holding a heart. Stand your ground. 4 is an energy of creating a firm foundation. It's also, not for nothing, it's 4th house, but it's also this energy of it's 22:49 on my clock. That's 449. Anyway, we are moving into a new earth reality where we are creating new lineages based upon our frequency. And the 4 is about setting the foundation of that. It's double emperor energy. So you're being told to, and with the woman holding a heart, it's also speaking to all of us about accessing our feminine energy through this, which is all about, it's more passive. So for many of you, we've been called to be actively like engaging in this. That time is over. That part of the lesson is over. Now is the time to rest and to know that you are divinely protected, that Michael right here has got your back. Call on Archangel Michael. If you are a divine solar being, he is here to assist, because he is one too. Okay? With this woman holding a heart, it's the battle is not yours. This is what keeps on coming to me over the past like 24 hours. I think it's in the book of Joshua that this is written again. The battle is not yours, it belongs to the Lord. It belongs to, for many of us, this battle has moved out of, it's no longer personal. It's like them against the divine. It always has been to some extent, but there was a part we played because we had to wake up to who we are. Now we're woken up and we're being fine-tuned. So these energies are here to fine-tune us, but the main battle now, it belongs to the divine and all of the angels and archangels. So we are here. Our part in the battle now is to trust and to believe. And if anything, like I'm seeing her heart, it's to hold on to the dream. it's to hold on to the dream, because the dream is what is setting your firm foundation. I just posted earlier on today the Daily Alchemy post that I wrote for yesterday, because I felt it was pertinent. And it speaks about this also, like the importance of recognizing and realizing that your true wealth, your true kingdom of heaven, as Jesus called it, it is within. It's always been within. And so therefore your peace and your stability, it is from within. Okay, so right now we're being asked to seek that. There was this, when I do things hard. I'm an extremist, okay? If I'm going to believe in Jesus and become a born again Christian, I'm gonna go all the way, okay? No, I'm joking, but like I always loved Jesus from the time I was a child. Jesus is one of my guides, and when I was a born again Christian, I ran away into the wilderness. I ran away into the wilderness with this this group through my church. And it was spiritual boot camp, and I don't regret it. I needed it. There was also a degree of spiritual abuse, and I find that out later on. So it's not something I recommend, but it was part of my journey. It was something I had to break from other incarnations too. So, but I remember we would always sing this song, and it would go, I'm not going to sing the song, but it would be from the scripture verse. It would go, the scripture was, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Alleluia." Okay, so I'm going to break that down because it sounds very like Christianese, holy. I'll break it down what it actually means. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Go within first and find heaven within yourself. Find your divine truth. Find your divine power. Reconnect with your divinity, and then you will have everything. Everything beautiful flows from that place. So seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. That means to be in alignment with your truth, right? In order for your Christed energy to rise, which is part of your Kundalini. And all these things will be added unto you. So that is speaking, all these things is speaking about the things that the things that they have dangled in front of you in the old world and told you that the only way to get them is their way. So abundance, all of those things will be added unto you. And then alleluia means to give. I think alleluia means, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like to give the highest praises to the divine, right? So this is what we're being called to do right now. We're being called to go within to find our own kingdoms. And when we do that, come Aries season, we will be ready to build them. This is where we get the map. This is where we get the intel, the knowledge, the info. So I think I'm going to wrap it up there because we are already over an hour into this. I'm going to love you and leave you. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Thank you again to those of you who have donated. If you would like to donate to me or my channel, all the information is in the description box below. And if you want to gift me with any of my decks off my wish list, my Amazon wish list is also listed below. Thank you again to those of you. I don't know if I gave a shout out at the beginning, but also beyond the person who sent me the beautiful decks, thank you to those of you who have donated recently too. I so appreciate you. And I just want to say thank you to every one of you for all the ways you help me to grow. And you help me to grow in my light and to share my light in order to change the world and do what I came here divinely to do. I thank you for giving me a platform to be able to do that. So if you would like to work with me one-to-one, my email and my website information are below. I would ask that if you're interested in working with me, that you go first to my website and you check out my services page, and then you contact me either through the contact page on the website or email me. It's all the same. It will get to me at the same place, so the choice is yours. And please recognize and realize that there is no checkout function on my website. That's intentional. It's because I want to know who's coming to me. So whenever you decide on the service that you prefer, whether it's mentorship or one of my smaller services, then please just email me and let me know that you're interested. Okay, so yes, if you would like to join my Daily Alchemy members portal, that is one place on my site where you can join immediately, but I do need you to follow up with either an email to me or put in the notes section of payment your Instagram handle and your email address so I can contact you and I can let you in. Okay, so yes, for more information about what the Daily Alchemy members portal is, you can check it out on my website, as well as an archive of some of my older posts and writings from there. Basically, I do 5 channeled writings there a week, mostly Monday to Thursday, and sometimes a weekend, or sometimes Monday to Friday. And then all of the, like the decrees and the reports that I produce, and I publicize to you guys on a weekly basis with a suggested donation amount. It's already included in your monthly membership through the Daily Alchemy members portal. So if you're interested, you can find out more information on my website. But here is where I'm going to actually literally love you and leave you. I wish you guys the best. Every single fucking beautiful thing under the sun. Until next time, be well.